their sacrament, then they would be given those privileges. No, it is something that came about, sorry, because Rastafari was fighting for their rights, especially as it comes to a faith-based churchical order.
You drop out again, Ras Iroy. Okay, Banky. Yes, go ahead, make your utterance.
Yes, and with everything we hear speaking and where the industry is moving, the land and these is not even part of the discussion when it comes to cannabis, when it comes to what is earmarked, not even for growing food, much less ganja. So even if you move into the industry and you do not even hear the minister or the authority or the government itself speak and land earmark for agriculture, cannabis, this area, that area, or whatever, because it's just so much restriction. Because if you're going to get involved in these things, you must need land. If you're going to be indoors, wherever you're at, you must need land. So this is just a next step again to show when it comes to being serious about these things. You must have, can you farm your farm, and farming mean pest and disease and all kind of different stuff. These things will come also, because you're not going to do the same thing every day. It will change every day. But we must come on a crossroad where either we're going this way or we're going that way, or you just what's going on shouldn't really be happening. People should not be really be harassing for her. Yes, I.
Hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, you're breaking up. Go ahead.
I just want to put in a plug in that.
Yes.
We must be able to test cannabis, whether going out, coming in, or being used locally. And St. Kitts Nevis, the proper equipment. We don't have the ability to test cannabis to that it is good to be for local and a whole. That is one of the setbacks. Our Bureau of Standards is very limited. You can test chemical
but if the government is serious about these things, they will get the necessary machineries and tools and put it in. These things are not difficult. If you can take for 16 million out of one bank and next 16 million over next institution and pay off bills for non-nationals and stuff like that. I mean,
how much they give him for music festival? 4 million?
No, me not talk about cartel. Me talk about over Christopher Harbour, over 100 million, and still pay off the bills. And so I mean, we should even be talking about. It just shows the authority are not serious. That's just.
I agree.
It shows because the resources we put in place because without that's all it is. You see. Because look at you saying, coming here and saying the authority is writing to Nevis to have meeting. Well, how much meeting you all have been the authority have been saying it up to now?
3.
You can't have a meeting in Nevis. And why can't the meeting then be going on at the same time? Because it's too much people on the board. The message could be disseminated with 5 of you in Nevis and a meeting and 5 in Sync is the same thing. It don't have to be everybody at the same meeting or however you all doing it. You see what I mean? You can have 3 meetings in 2 meetings in one night. You have one in different part on the island in Nevis or whatever it is.
It's just got to say.
Huh?
Nevis just got to say they're ready.
Well, we're going to take for them to say they're ready. So, this sense. How long did you all reach out to Nevis? How long was that? The authority reached out. How long are you talking about?
Listen, we had these meetings in St. Kitts before music festival. Okay. And we've been reaching out to Nevis since.
Before, okay, so maybe months now. So you see your son.
So, but Banky, you see, this is what I keep saying, the other day when we had the conversation with the Premier, and the Premier was so boastful in pointing out that ever since he has been in Parliament, there has never been any
No,
opportunity that he
We track the word boastful,
what?
confident,
Well,
confident, not
same thing
boastful,
for me.
confident.
Confident and boastful for me. What to do? I was boasting. He
Different,
was
yes,
very
sir.
boastful with
It's different.
that but he has never seen, he has never had any bill discussed prior to it going into the House. And my response to that was, it is because this has seemingly become the norm, where they don't consult with the public who they're claiming to put these laws in place to assist. And I am using this example because that is what we are seeing here in relation to cannabis. Because look at it. One of the reasons why they act that way is because, as I said, it has become the norm. And in Nevis, for example, we would have a minister of agriculture, and it's a couple of years now that the government have placed cannabis, or medical cannabis that is, under the Ministry of Agriculture, and the people at Nevis are sitting back and allowing the minister to not do anything in relation to agriculture and not speaking up and speaking out. So it has become the norm to be able to take the taxpayers' money for a job that you're supposed to do and don't do it. And so it is the same argument here now presented. That is why they could be calling upon Nevis to do this meeting and nobody respond, because in their mind, nobody agitating, nobody really want this. Me not like it, and me not really want to do it. So why should I go out of the way to try to do it when?
So, so when this meeting come, the minister would have to be on the same podium too, be around.
Which minister? Nevis minister?
Yeah.
Well, he should be. He better be. I would expect him to be. But I don't know what he's going to come and say. I don't know what he's going to say.
Oh, yeah.
You know me. Every meeting I ask him what happened in Nevis.
I will be at the front of the class for sure. Look sharp. Before Christmas ends.
These ain't things to be laughing about, because people getting locked up in
Well, yes, and what you going to do, Virgin? You're the laugh. What you going to do? It's entertainment. If it's something, it's entertainment.
Responsible. And just so I'm calling out the minister in Nevis, the same way I'm calling out the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley and St. Kitts, because he is responsible for the most critical areas. The two areas that Sankofa took them to court for. So when you look at how the government is functioning with cannabis, and I am speaking this way too, because here is it that now we are being forced down our throat with the SSZ bill that they rush in the House to pass. And the reason and the rationale that they're giving for pushing this SSZ bill is because they're claiming that this is going to be a revenue generator. And since CBI is failing, this is the next new thing since sliced bread that they're coming with. And my argument is, well, want to cannabis, because that was what you all say would have been a cash cow for you all as well. So why is it that there's this rush for this SSZ, but you lapsed in?
Yes, son. Tourism is real estate, Virgin. Tourism is real estate. I keep telling this tourism thing.
Cannabis could be real estate too.
He who owns the lands makes all the rules.
Let me keep the money, Banky. You might muted. Let me keep the money. Let me keep the money in the country. Just like how St. Vincent said, this allocate 1,000 acres of land for traditional growers. We want to St. Kitts and Nevis. We want the traditional growers in St. Kitts and Nevis. And we need some land for agriculture itself too. If they're serious about the 2025 or the 2030 agenda, then they should be allocating another 2,000 or 3,000 acres to agriculture before they even talk about the SSZ. So how the SSZ get priority over cannabis? How we get priority over fixing the hospital?
Tourism is real estate, yes, son. Many lawyers will benefit off of sales of lands and all this development. They don't need a lawyer, they don't need a realtor, they don't need a surveyor, they don't need all kind of things. Also, that's why you see the lawyers going to come.
Government too, making a lot of money off CBI.
You see, Banky, as I listen to these kind of arguments, I realize why the government do these things, because you, the people, not you, the people generally, right, are sitting back and allowing these things, and that is why they get up and do these things.
Let me say this, Yason, and then you can continue. In the next 20 years, I had a conversation, because people are coming at the farm, all kind. I had a gentleman come from St. Martin. And you see, Nevis in the next 20 years, 10 to 20 years, the indigenous people can't afford to buy land in their own town, their own island. I got a virgin in Barbados, and a 3,000 square feet of land, he bought it for 80,000 US. Okay? The land in St. Bart's and then places there, the local, and in St. Martin, locals can't buy land. What happened in Nevis is going to happen. These environment going to drive the prices of land so high. At 2,000 square feet of land in Nevis is going to cost 500,000 US in the next 20 years.
But bank here the same way.
These are the reality going to happen.
You don't look at that, no? You don't so in Nevis.
You see, so the reality
local people only get land through the housing thing.
Banky,
it's going to happen no more.
Banky, you're saying that, and Ira is responding that it's already happening here. It's going to be worse with the SSZ, because when these people take up these large tracts of land, if and when your grandchild come and they want to buy a piece of land and they got to buy it back from them, $1 million.
Look at this, yes, son. You now look at this. Look at the reality. Look at the reality. The only difference, and I say it again, pay attention. People got to pay attention. This land area is owned by the natives. The other large land that are 800 acres, 1,000 acres, 600 acres is owned by one non-national. And then I go, because them in the same ethnic group now go sell them the land. Then I sell the land. And the native land they want, because the other races within themselves now sell them the land. They're going to Mr. Gaskell. They're going to the Pennies them in Martha's Vineyard. They're going to Newfound. They're going to Anbass. They now sell them the land. And that's one owner. You see the difference? We're going to go down 200 locals. You see? That's the difference. The only difference is nationals and non-nationals.
Let's all remember they are being facilitated by people who look like us and who we elect to represent us, but clear allegiance to King Charles III and his heirs and successors. So they are set to look out for King Charles and his heirs and his successors, and they have no allegiance to you. And that is why the land, selling out the land to make a little money, is nothing for them, because they're helping their brothers and sisters and their people. You now need to stand up, and that is why my argument right now is with our people. And I think we are about on that time for us to be starting to make our closing statements and so on. But it is up to the masses to be able to look at these things, analyze these things, and begin to take actions. You see how the people push back on the SSZ, and the politicians are realizing we need to be able to start to hold them more accountable and a lot more things, and demand consultation. And in this case, as we're talking about cannabis, demand that Mr. Eric Evelyn, Honorable Eric Evelyn, come to the public and speak to us. And that meeting, those meetings that we're supposed to have, make sure that these things are organized. And we need to find out, the Premier said that there's no avenue, so to speak, right now for the ecclesiastic affairs, because there's no ecclesiastic affairs ministry and Nevis. However, if anything is supposed to happen, it's supposed to go through the Premier's ministry in Nevis, because anything to do with religion or whatever, that is his ministry. They don't have a direct person to deal with that. But whatever would be done would have to be done under that ministry. So I want to think that they need to reach out and they need to collaborate, because I think it is unfair if Nevisions would have to go to St. Kitts to do everything that relates to the 56 grams and the 5 trees and the lounge and all of that. I want to think that there should be an arm in Nevis set up so that Nevisions don't have to go to St. Kitts. And these things can only happen with a collaborative effort from both governments and both ministries. The fact that it is not happening, and it has not happened for the past 2 years, since Cannabis would have been, and Sinkis would have been pushing what they're pushing, shows that, especially on the Navy side, that the leadership is not serious and don't really want to help the people and navies to improve the cannabis industry so that they can be more empowered, so that they can make some money out of the industry. Now, Iroy, I want to give you the opportunity. I don't know if Sankofa is still there because I'm only seeing a picture. So Sankofa,
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm just being his turn because he wasn't with
right,
us for a while. I mean, he
right.
was here, but we wasn't hearing from him. So I
Okay,
was just
good.
giving the elder a chance to express himself still. I
All
heard
right, so
everything everyone said still.
okay, good. So what we're gonna do then? We're gonna get into the closing statements, and then we'll probably let Iroy summarize, the last set of conversations and whatever else he would want to interject, and then we would give you the opportunity to give your closing statements, and then Banky and I would just wrap up and invite you guys back at some other point, because so far I think that the folks who are listening and so on are very intrigued, and you could get some of the responses, the new people in and so on, and so I'm sure that they will want you guys to come back at some point. So Ras Iroy.
Yes, I give thanks. I give thanks for the opportunity to be able to speak to the people again. There's still a lot of work to be done. What is important now, though, is for I, as never before, to be sticking together and putting our plans together, taking it forward in terms of what it means the government to continue to respect the judge. We also need to be putting some more pressure to ensure that we in Nevis get, I hate the term fair share because it's been knocked around so much. What is due for I? And we can't
Sorry.
have a federal laws and I Nevis not benefiting from that. But what is it going to take when the collaborative effort is needed, that ones and ones come forward and we work together, things happen. Want to continue her. If you can get a lot of trees, the quality it well. In the meantime, it's not what we are satisfied with. So we take the little and then we continue for the greater. But I think it's an opportunity. You hear me?
Yes, yes.
You've been
Yeah,
breaking up
there's
though.
also an opportunity. There's a great opportunity for I to get into the industry to make some money.
Okay, the last thing we heard from Ras Iroy is a great opportunity for us to get in the industry to make some money. What I'm going to do here is there were a couple of comments on the Facebook wall, and probably by that time, if Ras Iroy comes back in, we can let him finish up. Estelita Clark says, great point, your son. He says, that means we so-called suspects need to have a great lawyer to fight them Babylon ways. Why Hanley says, real talk. Estelita Clark says, I'm sorry, but Sankofa, that will never happen in Nevis. Smoking in Nevis is like smoking in the presence of our down pressures. And, I mean, it's sad when you look at what's going on in St. Kitts versus what's going on in Nevis. Ira, are you there still? If you're there, you could probably finish up
Yeah.
your... Yes. You're cut out a little bit, so you can finish up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ira. All right.
Like a collective.
Okay, now we're hearing you now. All right, them the Wi-Fi guy ain't working with Ira tonight at all, but we're gonna definitely have to get you back, Ira, at another point so that you could really have a more clear discussion because you're just dropping out. So sorry about that, listening public. We do apologize for all of the technical difficulties, but at the end of the day, still, every little utterance is vital. Sankofa, I'm going to let you weigh in and give your closing statements. Yeah, unmute your mic, Sankofa. Okay, I don't know if Sankofa stepped out for a bit. Banky, we're going to have to wrap things up because I think we would have exceeded the 2 hours, and the other members of the team have to get a sleep as well and have other engagements and so on. So we're gonna have to wrap it up. Sankofa, you there yet, Sankofa?
Yeah, I'm here. I finally get it touch.
Okay,
yeah, boy,
good.
this thing beating me down a lot still, but me there, man. Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
would just have to say that I'm kind of happy for what's going on in St. Kitts. At time there, even police come inside the house, and we had so much hope, we thinking we're going in again, and we started to try to flush down the hole in the toilet. We not try to flush down the toilet, hole in the toilet, try to turn the hole outside. And the police, them just laughing at me because they say, boy, we don't even come with that kind of warrant there. You got some hub in there, he coming out of the flush toilet, and while you left there with the shower and he coming out of the bucket, you wet up all your hub and we not come for that. One eye was on a camera there with the man thief in the shop, and we just want go with eye to figure out if I had get a chance to see the robbers or whatever, I see them laugh after me. Then the next time we go in town, we there smoking on the corner, cooling, chilling, and police there, we smoking, and they there, and we trying to hide it. He say, why hide it? I don't say I break down law and all kind of thing, and them thing there, so why hide it for? So we still live with the police them, and we not gonna let Babylon try make us war against each other. Cause enough of the police them they smoke home. This in America, we ain't got no thing check. We are born out Babylon, and sometimes Babylon could be the best buyer. And then the next thing saying that they want to make us feel like we ain't supposed to sell home as Rasta because of sacramental rights. And they come and put all these things, we argue for spiritual rights. Spiritual rights to use the herb. We didn't argue like just a sacramental right to have it for just for spiritual reasons. We argued that it's a spiritual right just to have the herb so we can use the herb. So the intention and the reasoning to the purpose of what we accomplish, Babylon just kind of bring laws now to tie us up and try to make us feel like, if it's our sacrament, we can't sell it. Of course, we're not selling no sacrament. A sacrament is a sacrament. But in all the hope them that we have is for sacrament. Some for selling, and some for sacrament, and some for make oil, some for make soap, some for cure cancer, some for do this, some for do that. We want the hope to do everything, right, Banky? But everything we want the hope for. And imagine me going to ask Jeffrey Hanley, who me come up with in a summer camp with all the time. Me know them man personally. Imagine a big man like me gonna ask them boy there for license and rights to use herb. That could never happen with me. Me not apply for none of them things there because we gonna just use herb and plant herb and defend the herb. Because from the defend the herb, you defend the Almighty, And the Almighty, we are different when we defend the herb because of Him create the herb. This ain't no substance, this no Xantax, this no cocaine, this no thing that man take and then manipulate, This is the Almighty creation, and we use herb in every product that we do in its natural state. In its natural state. Yeah, so if we're gonna make oil, is the whole herb going inside the thing, especially if you're infusing it. And then when we get that oil now, we use it is a natural thing. It was. We use it in anything we want. We could put it in cakes. We could put it to rub our legs them. We could put it for you to intake underneath your tongue to help with the cancer and the treatment of any internal injuries that you might have in your body. So we don't let the system limit us with how we could use and when we can use the herb and how much herb you could have and how much herb enough you have. That's why me never even try to go up and down them and the things. Because me know me was gonna rebel out all the way because me don't know. It's a simple strategy man I work with. Man I work with Babylon laws. Man I work with the Almighty laws. The Almighty say he give us every seed bearing food, yielding back seed of his own kind for us to use. How could ganja be excluded with that declaration there? And that the judge decide for I and I, you know? A them argument they man use in a courthouse. Me no use no well-educated argument, you know. My arguments was that some of it was biblical, was straight up, and some of it was just nature. If it's a plant, we can't create a plant, we can't make a seed, so then blame the person who make the seed. Blame the man who make the seed. No come pressure are we. We just use what Father create. Yeah. And if that's the case, how come I could go tomato and I can't go herbs? What is the difference?
Yes, sir.
And how come I could sell tomato and I can't sell herbs?
Similar argument Banky is making. So yes. No respect.
So I feel with that dear man. We have to defend the Father. We can't go ask these little boy them if you know right figure for you know go no ganja and they don't like ganja. How you gonna ask a man as Banky say it? And me and Banky, we don't have to sit down and reason these things, and we are reasoning the same exact way. These guys just common sense. How you gonna ask somebody who hate the judgment thing for permission to use it when you know you're using it all the days of your life? We take the punishment where we have to take the punishment and we break down the barrier the same and still no more punishment for INA if you use the herb. A time for us to elevate from the herb in whatever aspect. Me never get to build no big house off a herb. Me still want to try it. Me still want to try it. Enough of me, enough of the youth them around me got a big house off a herb. Me never get out there, so I'm still eligible to do it. So maybe it's my time for that now too. Yeah, so if you have to use, me personally, I don't really plant no lot of herb. But when me plant my herb now, me just strategic in turning my herb into another farm in the sense to sell like oils and other products so that it could benefit people, not just smoking anymore. Now that we have free time to use herb, a gas now, me gonna learn to make out a herb right now and run my own stove and so. So what me try to do is me try to educate myself towards all the levels that man could use. So if I could use the seeds of the herb to make gas, and then me got my own gas stove with herb oil, and me herb oil from ganja seed. That man a genius. That's ecological high science there. You see it? Elon Musk and them man, they might even come down boy me not to say I want to link up with them man, but them man got the money still. And say, boy, I hear about your ganja seed gas stove, you know. But I want to eat on that day, you know. Just give me a bill, you know.
That's all right.
Drop a billion pan ORU. Yeah, them man drop a billion pan ORU. We feed the youths them and let them go with the science if they want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But it's time for us to benefit from the old too.
Even though we laugh a little bit there, you know, just because of how you said the Elon Musk thing, but the reality is cannabis can be used to make all of these different things that you would have highlighted. You know, it's always interesting when we have this topic because there's so much things that we have to share. You know, there's so much that people need to know about, you know, cannabis, and it's always a conversation that is left to be continued. So there's a lot more that we can say, but you know, we do have a limited time, and the show it's an international show. So we're here in the Caribbean, but our technical team is all the way in the US. So they have they're on a different time frame as well, and they have sleep time and to look after children and all that. So we want to make sure that we're still conscious of them and all that. So we will leave a lot of what we have to say for our next conversation article. We ain't cutting anybody. I want to make two of us. So we do want to give thanks to all those who would have participated via the comment section, all those people on the YouTube platform, and all those people on the Facebook platform. Reginald Douglas says, straight talk, Elder Sankofa. Estelita says, great program, brothers. And, Banky, I'll give you that opportunity for your closing statements, and then we wrap up this edition of the topics.
Just want to say thanks to Ras Iroy and Sankofa for coming on the topics and giving their views and experiences when it comes to the cannabis and what's going on within the Federation of Ole and Layamiga. I also want to give thanks for those who listen to the show and viewing the show also wherever they're at. We greatly appreciate your comments, and we don't take you all for granted, and continue to share the link and the live and so forth, and encourage ones and ones to subscribe and to listen to everything. Agriculture show also on Fridays and the topics on Tuesdays. Yes, son, I would just want to encourage those who are growing the cannabis to continue, those who are into the value-added products to continue, those who are doing their own research and stuff like that to continue, because what needs to happen is the government need to, if they're serious, don't allocate money just for farming the same way where the young people and those who want to take part in the industry can, because farming take money in a virgin. Whether you plant tomato, you plant scallion, if you want to be on a level, it take investment. So resources should be put in place where young people or whoever within the natives can have access to these things. Some could be as grants, and these loans shouldn't be more than 1%, are just interest free and just pay back. Because that's how you help your people. Because we can give our resources to non-nationals, but how come we're not doing the same thing for our people? Everything is just opportunity now, Virgin. Nothing is complicated, And at my age, I don't need a bite to check on a wolf over my eye, because it's just equal opportunities. But we're not given the opportunities. We're quicker give non-national the opportunities because somebody benefiting. Mega tend to figure out that the people got to wise up. As I said, cannabis need land to farm. So if we're not going to earmark land for cannabis and for growing food, but we want to encourage large-scale development of our land where the locals them own and the government itself, the citizens, because one of the things we got to also ask Nayasan is if our land, if not the government is selling, if any statutory bodies are selling lands, you see, because politicians are tricksy, because we have land and housing, which is a statutory body. Maybe there was, I'm just saying we have to ask if these institutions are selling a large amount of land where is not, maybe the government itself. These are things we have to ask within St. Kitts and Nevis. So if we're not speaking about and talking about what land, agriculture, cannabis and water too. So water policy, all these things. So how I just see this whole thing here, yes, you might have some leeway here and there, but within the leeway you ain't doing it, you ain't doing it like you granted me a favor, because it's always been my right to use the herb. That is how I see it. So don't act like you're doing me a favor, because you're still putting things how you want. So I bottle it up and then tell me, no, me not run with that. You're done infringing on my rights. You owe me reparation. You understand, man? I get locked up. You understand, and all this different stuff. So you owe me. That's the reality. You see, that's it, and your harassment and all this different stuff. These things traumatize a lot of children and homes and all this different stuff. You come in a people's house, mess up the house, and leave it there, and you feel empowered by these kind of things. And now you come back and you're wrong now. You still think it's okay? Nah. I rather get locked up for what I believe in and beat down and stand up again, because me nah stand still. You push against me, me fight back. That's just how it is. Because I have youth and I got to be a model for my youth to go over. They don't have to go through these things. Because 20 years from now, as I said, we ain't going to be able to buy land in our own island, because our leaders and them is pushing our islands to the higher. They're not looking at our interests. You not hear none of them earmark any land for agriculture for the next 1,000 years. They're not going to do these things. These are the reality. So that is my part, Hassan.
Yes, and I just want to say, enough respect to, Elder Sankofa and Elder Ras Iroy for taking the opportunity to come and, address the issue of cannabis. The reality is this is the only program in the Federation that actually speaks to cannabis, and we would have a cannabis show. And so it's always a pleasure to be able to, count on, pioneers like you guys would have been pushing the agenda. We are, coming as well, and we are part of the agenda in terms of, decriminalizing and fully legalizing cannabis here on St. Kitts and Nevis, and we will continue to do such. And so we really want to thank you guys for, appearing here this evening. And even though we would have had some technical difficulties on Ras Iroy's side, I want to give thanks still, the patience, and for, keep trying and tapping out and coming back and all that. Some people might get fed up and say, man, let's just call it a night. But I want to give thanks for all of that. And I'm sure the listeners too are really, satisfied with the engagement and the discussion. We will definitely, Banky, have to look to get in maybe the police officers and eventually even those ministers, because I would love to have Jeffrey Hanley and Eric Evelyn here to answer some of these questions themselves personally, because we the taxpayers are paying them. And I don't think in the Nevis case.
So which means you're going to heaven.
Look at the two man name. Look at the two man name they call. Look at the two man name.
You're going to heaven with them. You're going to heaven with them then. You're going to heaven with them to drink milk and walk on street of gold. I mean, you're talking saying.
My thing is, Becky, they are the ministers and they are being paid by us. I mean, the premier set the example. The premier came here and spoke. Really, why can't those two ministers come and speak to cannabis and let us know exactly what's going on in their ministries and what they plan to do and moving forward?
Premier different, man. Premier have balls. Premier different. Premier have balls.
Them two man the name you call. Ask them straight up if they like cannabis.
Well, what
if they believe in cannabis?
When they come here on the platform, that's
why would you want to be? That's why you gotta watch politics, That's why you gotta watch politics, and when I go in, I can't go put somebody into something. You can't go put. I say when I go in, if I go do anything and I get in, I can't go put man who ain't into certain things in the ministry to go run a ministry,
Exactly.
What them man do with the ministry there? Them two man there.
Hold on.
We know them man not into it. It don't make no sense them man they get them ministry there.
But here's this.
Give that ministry there to somebody who know about herb and who been into it and who probably still into it, even though them a minister.
You see,
you can't go give man.
This comes down to a part of us not having any say in these people who are elected by us. And they have.
No, I'm talking. It's not our fault, We're talking about the government.
No, after you elect them, member is the premier, the prime minister who decide who's going to be those ministers. The thing is, they are the ministers, and I don't care who they put there. My thing is, whoever they put there, we need to hold them accountable. Right now, the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley is not doing his job in that regards, and I'm calling him out publicly because he is not doing anything where the recreational and the spiritual is concerned. The Honorable Eric Evelyn is not doing anything in Nevis where medicinal cannabis is concerned. And I am calling them out, and we're going to look to get them here on the platform. All they could do is say they're not come. Okay, I am going to try to get them here. And if they ain't
I'm sure some of them are herbalists, but some of them still could be doing more too. And he got the whole Department of Agriculture.
At least he's doing something. Yeah, he's doing something in St. Kitts. I can't talk St. Kitts. I'm talking about Nevis right now. In Nevis, nothing is happening. So I am talking about that. And in St. Kitts, the recreational and spiritual side, nothing is happening because you can't go there and get the 5 trees license. You can't go there. So we got the team waiting. Sankofa, if we get into another discussion, it's going to take us another 5-10 minutes again. So we're going to call it the evening.
What you say.
Yes, man. Yeah. We're going to call it the evening, and we're going to look forward to get the ministers, the 2 ministers here. I am going to. Sorry, not we. I am going to. So until next week.
I'm not depend that with the item. I'm not going to depend that class start there. I'm going to just listen. Yeah.
Friday on another edition of Everything Agriculture, and then next week Tuesday for another edition of the Topics. right here on the Real Entertainment Network. So like and subscribe our YouTube platform. Like and
We
subscribe
might be
our
having
Facebook
guests.
page.
We might be having guests Friday. We might be having some guests Friday. So just letting the listeners them know that.
Okay, and we probably might have to squeeze in. No, I think that might be next week Tuesday. We would have to work with Heidi and Merla with the show. So we're gonna have to make a space for them for next week Tuesday. Okay, so people, enough respect everybody, guidance and detection. We look forward to seeing you all Friday at 7 o'clock for another edition of Everything Agriculture. And next week Tuesday for another edition of the Topics. Ras Iroy, that's Sankofa, enough respect. Enough respect. Okay. Well, it seems as if we have a little minute or two here, because maybe I don't know if our technical guy dropped sleep on us. But I'll find out in a bit. Banky, you wanna do that? You wanna see if you can get in touch with Ira?
I go upstairs because I remember my phone.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm trying to call. Wait, okay, talk in the meantime then. Say something in the meantime. Maybe you could engage Sankofa for a minute or two.
All right, Sankofa, go and entertain. What you're talking about? You still there, Sankofa? I guess Sankofa gone to on us Iroy. Well, I just want to encourage
you can maybe just drop in, whatever your last thoughts or ideas.
Well, I just want to encourage. Coming up is the Independence. This month is Independence. Next week we have the 16th with National Heroes, and then the 19th they celebrate Independence. They're supposed to have some different stuff going on in the Malcolm Gishard Park. Also, I'm not sure when it comes to the use of cannabis if that going to be accepted, but we definitely urge the locals them and those who are into the use of cannabis. Speak to your ministers of government. That is your rights. Ask them what's going on. Put pressure on them. If you have been harassed by police, how minister of government, even your representative, they have to represent you. If you're in Charleston, you're in Newcastle, wherever you're at, speak to your representative. Ask them why they're not speaking on cannabis. What his name is doing about. Speak to them about the laws and your rights, because the reality is a lot of your rights have been violated. I mean, we still don't get compensated. How much people locked up for cannabis be compensated? This is just